Let's practice together a way to make your hamstring muscles more flexible. Hamstrings are the muscles in the back of your thighs. These muscles connect your pelvis, your seat bones, with the areas below your knees. Hamstrings do two things. They bend knee and they extend hip. And therefore, when they're tight, short, overly contracted, or inhibited, they restrict movement of flexion of the hip or extension of the knee. Yes, this is technical jargon. Basically, with more flexible hamstrings, you will have a better stride when you're walking. You'll be more graceful. And super important part is that they are responsible for you being able to safely bend forward as if you wanted to touch your toes, because they allow your pelvis, your seat bones, from where they start, to lift up. Why hamstrings are important? Not only because your function will improve, but because of your health. Many problems of the knees, hip joints, low back pain stem out of too short, not performing hamstring muscles. Also, conditions like plantar fasciitis and some troubles of the foot and ankle may be linked with insufficient length of hamstring muscles. How will you know if you need to stretch or elongate your hamstrings? I like Dr. Hans Kraus' idea. Dr. Hans Kraus taught us that to check flexibility of hamstrings, he thought everybody should be pretty much able to touch the toes in standing, so measuring distance with your knees straight, of bending forward and measuring the distance from the floor. This way you can gauge your progress. If you're able to touch the toes, you probably don't need to work so hard on making those more flexible. For people who are hyper flexible, who can put palms on the floor or even more, I don't think doing the movements that we'll practice together is really necessary, because it may contribute to hyper flexibility. Another test for checking if you have good flexibility of your hamstrings is the straight leg raise, which is when you're lying long on your back with your legs long, you should be able to lift, or somebody could lift your legs straight with a straight knee, and getting to about 80 degrees of flexion is all that's necessary for people, for all normal people. If you're a gymnast, if you perform in Cirque du Soleil, of course 80% is not enough. But for all of us normal people, 80 degrees will be all that we need. So toe touch and straight leg raise. What's the difference between stretching and lengthening? Stretching is a little bit aggressive, pushing the limits, going into a point of almost discomfort or very aggressive pull. What we will practice together will have nothing of that. We want to do, yes, we want to elongate those muscles, but we want to do this free of any pain. I would much rather you feel pleasant sensation, gentle elongation, gentle pull in the back of the thigh, back of the knee, but nothing aggressive, nothing threatening. You don't want your nervous system to perceive what you're doing as potential threat. There are special tissues called spindles within muscles, and within the tendons there are other tissues called Golgi tendon organs, and they are reporting to your nervous system about sudden or too aggressive lengthening. When that happens, your muscles can go into spasm. We don't need that. So lengthening, meaning limbering, gently moving, straightening your knee without any discomfort. This also applies to any movement. When you're lifting your head, when you're flexing the upper body, you don't want any pain, zero pain throughout the next few minutes together. It should be comfortable, it should be pleasant. Remember, your sciatic nerve is lying right in the same neighborhood of hamstring muscles. So When you lengthen hamstring, you also lengthening your sciatic nerve. You need to be gentle, careful, not scared, but mindful that you are lengthening more than just muscles. Finally, don't rush your progress. Base your improvement on cumulative effect. Little bit every day. An improvement of 1 millimeter every day over just a few days will mean significant improvement in your flexibility. Don't be aggressive, don't rush the progress, don't try to stretch it out right now, today. There is no urgency. You lived long enough without that flexibility. It will be just fine if you give yourself a few days, perhaps even a few weeks, to gradually improve a millimeter by millimeter every day to improve your flexibility. This way, you're not alarming your nervous system. You're not alerting it to contract to protect you. This way, you're just showing your nervous system, look, this could be easy, this could be pleasant. Let's do it together. Please lie on your back. Check your contact that you have with your floor, with the ground. Observe. Notice the length of your legs. And now please bend both of your knees. You will bring your left hand to the right foot. Again, I'm going to use a belt. And we begin. Lift your right leg. Straighten it. Lift it. Exhale. Inhale, come back. Your left leg can be either open out to the side or it can be standing. And as always, if both are accessible, do a couple of movements one way, couple of movements the other way. These are small variations that help you move better, learn better. Exhale as you go. Inhale as you come back. Place your right palm behind your head. And now, as you're lifting your leg, lift your head and then come back. Feel work of the quadricep muscle in front of the thigh, lengthening of the left one. One more time. Perfect. Leave it alone. Straighten both of your legs. And as you're resting, feel the difference that your right thigh, comparing to the left thigh, you can identify. Maybe one thigh is resting fuller, maybe one leg feels longer. Please bend both of your knees. Again, you can either get hold of your foot with your hand or use the belt, use the yoga strap, this time on the big toe. Yoga strap on the big toe, and begin to lift your leg and lower. Exhale as you do that. Inhale, coming back. Feel the difference that hooking the belt or holding on with your index finger on the big toe, that it creates within your foot, within your ankle, within the plantar fascia, the bottom of the foot, your Achilles tendon. Again, place your right hand behind your head and 3 times direct right elbow in that gap between your left arm, right leg, with no ambition, with no compression, simply moving, lifting and lowering. Wonderful. Stop. Again, rest with your legs alone. And one more configuration. Bend both of your knees. Get hold of either thumb in between your big toe, second toe, and remaining toes held with your left hand and lifting, lowering. Or go ahead and put a belt around put it in between first and second toe and remaining of the toes. And we go. Lift your leg, lower it. Straightening of the knee. Coming back. In some way, I actually feel a little more successful with the belt in terms of lengthening the muscles of the thigh. Without that, my back was rounding more. Here, this shifts predominantly to the lengthening of the back of the thigh. Now, right hand behind your head, and the same idea, pointing your right elbow in the gap between your right knee, right leg, and the left arm. Exhale as you fold, inhale as you come back. 3 more times. Once more. Beautiful. Let go. Straighten both of your legs. Feel length of your right leg, contact of your back surfaces of the body. And please bend both of your knees. This time put the belt or get hold of the left foot with your right hand and begin to lift and straighten your left knee and come back. Exhale as you do that. Inhale as you come back. Exhale. Inhale. Right leg either open out to the side or in standing. Gentle. Come back. 3 more times. Perfect. And now introduce your left hand behind your head. Lift your head and elbow in the direction of that gap, that hole between your left leg and the right arm. Folding, unfolding. Right leg can be out to the side, can be standing, or you can vary it. Couple movements one way, and then couple of movements in the other way. Exhale. Beautiful. Let go. Straighten your legs. Notice if the back of your left thigh starts to touch the floor. Please bend both of your knees. Put the belt or your right index finger, hooking it underneath the big toe, or hook the belt strap on the big toe of the left foot, and begin to exhale, lift your left leg, returning, exhaling, inhaling. Feel for everyone who is concerned with flexion, bending of too much of the spine, having the belt, having the yoga strap shifts from spinal flexion to elongation of the hamstring. Feel this creates more work in the hip joint and in the knee. Exhale, inhale. Now place your left hand behind your head and introduce flexion gently as you are lengthening your hamstring. Exhale, inhale. Three more times. Out breath as you straighten your knee. Beautiful. Stop. Straighten everything down. Feel the response in your left leg. And And the last sequence, bend both of your knees. Either put your right thumb between your first, second toe and then wrap your fingers around the remaining 4 toes in this configuration. Or put the belt between first and second toe and remaining 4 toes. And holding on with your right hand, straighten the knee, come back, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Let's do 5 more times like that. Feel you're moving the insertion of the hamstring, which is on the lower leg, away from your seat bone. Couple more. Then place your left hand behind your head, and as you're lifting your head, lift your leg. Come back. You can open the knee if you haven't tried that yet. Exhale, inhale, 3 more times. And let go, straighten your legs. Pay attention to changes in your body.
Great job. That's all for now.